You know what's weird? Some people throw massive birthday parties every single year. Balloons, cake, Instagram stories for days. But then there's this other group who literally pretend their birthday doesn't exist. No party, no post, not even a thanks for the wishes text. And here's the creepy part. Psychologists say this behavior reveals something deep about your childhood, your trauma, and even your future success. So if you've ever skipped your own birthday or know someone who does, this is about to get uncomfortably accurate. Stick around till the end because I'm going to tell you which personality type you actually are. And trust me, you'll want to know. Let's be honest, birthdays are supposed to be special, right? It's the one day a year that's literally about you. But for millions of people, that day feels hollow, empty, maybe even painful. So why do some people treat their birthday like it's cursed? Is it depression, trauma, or are they just evolved beyond needing validation? Buckle up, because we're about to dive into the dark psychology behind people who don't celebrate birthdays and what science says it reveals about their brain, their past, and their emotional intelligence. Let's start with the saddest reason first. And yeah, this one hits hard. Reason number one, they were forgotten too many times. Picture this. You're 8 years old. It's your birthday.
You're buzzing with excitement. You told your friends at school, you reminded your parents, you even circled the date on the calendar with a big red marker. But then, nothing happens. Your friends forget, your parents are too busy. Maybe they promised to celebrate next weekend, but next weekend never comes. Now imagine that happening year after year after year. Eventually, your brain does something to protect you. It stops expecting anything. Psychologists call this learned helplessness. It's when repeated disappointment literally rewires your brain to stop hoping for good things. And here's the brutal part. This doesn't just affect birthdays. People who experience this chronic disappointment in childhood were 3 times more likely to avoid celebrations as adults. Not because they don't want to celebrate, but because their brain has built a powerful defense mechanism that screams, "Don't get your hopes up. It's safer this way." So, if you know someone who brushes off their birthday like it's nothing, there's a good chance they're not being humble. They're being protective. Okay, now let's talk about the second group. And honestly, this one is becoming way more common. Reason number 2. They're drowning in modern life. These people aren't avoiding their birthday because of past trauma. They're avoiding it because they literally don't have the mental bandwidth to think about it. Work deadlines, bills, kids, emails, meetings, groceries, laundry, repeat. Their birthday rolls around and it just gets lost in the noise. It's not that they don't care, it's that their brain is in pure survival mode. Neuroscientists call this time blindness. When your brain is overloaded with stress and tasks, it stops processing special moments. Everything blurs together into one long, continuous task list. Days lose their meaning, and your birthday, it's just another square on the calendar. A 2022 study from Stanford found that people with high cognitive load, basically people juggling way too much, were 60% less likely to remember or celebrate personal milestones. And here's the kicker. These people often feel guilty about it. They know they should care, they know it's their birthday, but by the time they remember, the day is already over. So if this is you, you're not broken, you're just exhausted. And honestly, that's your brain sending up a flare, a warning sign that you need to slow down before you completely check out. So I promised I'd tell you which personality type you are based on this. Here it is. If you don't celebrate because you've been let down too many times, you are the protector. Your entire emotional system has been built around one core mission: preventing pain. You're not antisocial or cold. You're a master of self-preservation. You value stability and predictability over grand gestures because your life experience has taught you that excitement is a risk. Your superpower is resilience, but your challenge is learning to let hope back in. But if you don't celebrate because life is just too chaotic, you are the survivor. You're in a constant battle against the clock, against your to-do list, against the sheer weight of modern responsibility. You're incredibly competent, driven, and you get things done. But your focus on forward momentum means you rarely pause to look back at how far you've come. Your superpower is your unstoppable drive, but your challenge is to realize that resting isn't quitting, and celebrating isn't a waste of time. It's the fuel that prevents you from burning out. Whether you're a protector or a survivor, the reason you skip your birthday says less about the day itself and more about the life you've lived. And maybe, just maybe, understanding that is the first step toward finally letting yourself have that piece of.
Let's continue with the next section, the emotionally independent. All right, now we get to the most interesting group, and this is where things get psychological. The third reason people don't celebrate their birthday, they don't need external validation. These people know it's their birthday. They aren't traumatized. They're not too busy. They just don't care. And not in a sad way, in a powerful way. Here's the thing. Most people tie their self-worth to external validation. Likes, comments, gifts, attention, parties. They need proof from the outside world that they matter. But this third group, they've transcended that. They've reached a level of emotional maturity where they don't need a birthday to feel special because they already know they're valuable. There's actually a name for this. Psychologists call it self-determination theory. It's the idea that true happiness comes from internal sources, autonomy, competence, purpose, not from what other people think of you. And get this, research shows that people with high internal validation are happier, more resilient, and less prone to anxiety and depression. A study in the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology found that people who didn't rely on external celebrations for self-worth had 40% lower rates of emotional instability compared to those who did. In other words, not celebrating your birthday might actually be a sign of elite emotional intelligence. These people don't need the spotlight. They don't need the Instagram post. They don't need the happy birthday texts from people who don't actually care. They've realized something most people never do. Every single day is special, if you choose to see it that way. But hold on, before you go thinking, oh cool, I'm just emotionally evolved, let me hit you with a reality check, because there's a dark side to this too. Some people don't celebrate their birthday because they have convinced themselves they don't deserve it. They've internalized shame, guilt, or low self-worth so deeply that celebrating feels wrong. This is common in people with a history of childhood neglect, with perfectionism, with imposter syndrome, or depression. They are not skipping their birthday out of strength. They're skipping it out of self-punishment. And here is how you tell the difference. This is critical. They don't need the party, but they're still happy. Self-punishing people are numb. They don't celebrate because they don't feel worthy of celebration. So if you're listening to this and thinking, yeah, I don't celebrate my birthday because I don't matter, that is not maturity. That is a red flag, and you might want to talk to someone about that. So here's the big question. Which one are you? Are you the forgotten child, still carrying wounds from a past where no one showed up? Are you the overloaded brain, so buried in life that you can't even pause to breathe? Are you the emotionally independent, someone who has found a deep peace within themselves? Or are you the self-punisher, someone who's convinced they don't deserve to be celebrated? Here's the truth. All of these are valid, but only you can decide if your relationship with birthdays is healthy or if it's holding you back. Because here's the thing, you don't have to throw a party, but you should, at the very least, acknowledge your own existence, even if it's just a quiet moment where you say to yourself, hey,
I made it another year, and that's worth something. So whether you throw a massive party or treat your birthday like any other Tuesday, both say something crucial about you. And now, you know it. Hey, whether it's your birthday today or not, you matter. Don't you ever forget that.